If you have started 10 things and finished none of them, your mind is not lazy. It is dirty. And no one taught you how to clean it. My friend, you think the problem is discipline. That is a lie. You think you just need more motivation. That is also a lie. The real problem is older than that. It lives inside the voice you hear before you open your eyes each morning. Today you will practice real B1 English, and you will learn 8 signs that your own thinking has been blocking you. Every single day. Stay until the end. The final lesson is the one nobody says out loud. Welcome to English Story Studio. Here, real English and real life advice come together, because both things matter. I know this because I lived it. I had money, I had plans, and then I lost everything. And the hardest part was not the loss. The hardest part was the voice in my head at 3 a.m. That voice was not talking about money. It was talking about who I was. I had to clean that voice first. Without that, I cannot rebuild anything. My friend, if you feel stuck right now, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are carrying things that were never yours to carry alone, and no one ever showed you how to put them down. The core idea today is simple. A dirty mind is not a stupid mind. It is a mind full of old fear, old stories, and old voices that were never true. We will look at 8 signs of that dirt together. We move in 3 parts. First, we hold up a mirror. We look at what is real. Then, we walk into some discomfort together, because that is where the real shift lives. Finally, we find the door. I will not push you through it, but I will show you it is open. Stay until the end. What I saved for last is the hardest truth, and it is the one that changed everything for me. Let us begin. His name is Daniel. He is 19 years old. He is in his first year of university in Lagos. Every morning, Daniel wakes up and opens Instagram before he opens his eyes fully. By 7 a.m, he already feels behind. He has 3 unfinished courses on his laptop. He has a half-read book about discipline sitting on his desk. He has a note on his phone titled, My Goals 2024. He has not opened that note since January. Daniel is not unintelligent. His lecturers notice him. He notices things too. But when he sits down to work on something that matters to him, something happens. His chest gets heavy. He switches tabs. He watches someone else's success. Then he closes his laptop and says the same sentence he said yesterday. I will start fresh tomorrow. There is one small detail I want you to see. The book on his desk. He did not leave it there by accident. He put it there on purpose, so he could see it, so it could remind him of who he wants to be. That book has been on that desk for 2 months. He picks it up sometimes. He reads the same first page. I know this person. I was this person. Not at 19, but I know exactly what it costs to sit in a room full of your own potential and feel completely unable to move. That cost is real, and it starts with one thing. Lesson 1, you are not lazy. You are afraid. Procrastination is not laziness. That is the first lie your mind tells you, and it tells it loudly. I learned this the hard way. For years, I called myself undisciplined. I told myself I needed more structure, more routine, more motivation. I tried all of it. And I still could not start certain things. Not because I was lazy, because I was afraid of what would happen if I started and failed. Laziness is comfortable. Fear disguises itself as comfort. But underneath, it is terror. Here is what fear does. It puts a mask on. The mask looks like delay. It looks like, I will do it later. It looks like opening YouTube when you meant to open your work. You think you are choosing distraction. You are not. Your brain is choosing safety, and it is choosing it for a reason. This is the mirror phase, my friend. We are not here to fix anything yet. We are here to look. And what I see, when I look honestly at my own story, is this. I did not avoid hard work because I did not care. I avoided it because caring meant being judged on the result. Staying in preparation meant staying safe. Nobody could evaluate what I had not finished. Nobody could confirm my worst fear, that I was not as capable as I wanted to believe. Nobody warned me about this. I thought successful people were just braver than me. That is also a lie. They were afraid too. They just stopped waiting for the fear to leave before they moved. What does this cost you? It costs you months. It costs you years. It costs you the slow, quiet grief of watching your own potential sit still while time moves forward. Daniel is sitting at his desk on a Tuesday afternoon. He has 2 hours before his next lecture. He opens his laptop. He has a personal project, a simple business idea he has been thinking about since November. Today, he tells himself, is the day. He opens a blank document. He types his name at the top. Then he stops. A feeling rises in his chest. It is not laziness. It is a thought he does not fully hear, but it is there. What if I put this out and people think it is weak? He closes the document. He opens Instagram. Within 4 minutes, he is watching someone's business highlight reel. He closes his laptop 20 minutes later and says he was not focused enough today. I have done this. Not once. Many times. Tonight, before you sleep, open your notes app or a piece of paper. Write one sentence. Start it like this. The real reason I have not started is. Do not think too long. Write the first honest thing that comes. That one sentence is worth more than another hour of watching. Less on 2. You hear your own voice more than anyone else's. The most repeated voice in your life is not your mother's voice. It is not your teacher's voice. It is yours. And if that voice is lying to you, you are hearing that lie more than any encouragement you have ever received from another human being. More than any compliment. More than any good advice. Your own internal voice runs all day, every single day. And most people have never once questioned what it is actually saying. Nobody warned me about this either. I thought the problem was external. I thought I needed better people around me, better circumstances, a better environment. And yes, those things matter. But I was carrying a voice inside that was doing more damage than any person on the outside ever could. At 3 a.m, when the room was quiet and the money was gone, there was only one voice left. Mine. And it was not kind. Here is what I have seen in people who are stuck. They do not speak to themselves the way they would speak to a friend. They use language they would never say to someone they love. You are so stupid. Why can you not just do it? Everyone else is ahead of you. They say this to themselves 10, 15, 20 times a day. It becomes automatic. It starts to sound like a fact. This is the mirror, my friend. You are not hearing this voice because something is wrong with you. You are hearing it because you were taught it. By old experiences, old failures, old comparisons that you did not choose and did not deserve. But you can start to hear it differently. First, you have to notice it is there. I learned this not from a book. I learned it in the months after I lost everything. When I finally got quiet enough to hear what I had been telling myself for years, it shook me because I'd believed all of it. On a regular Wednesday, Daniel tells himself, I will do it tomorrow at least 4 times. Once when he wakes up, once when he walks past his desk, once at lunch, once before he sleeps. He does not notice he is doing it. The sentence has become invisible. He has said it so many times it no longer sounds like a choice. It sounds like a fact about himself. Someone I know did the same thing for 6 years. He did not count the times he said it. He told me later, I genuinely believed I was the kind of person who could not follow through. He was not. He was just a person who had repeated one sentence too many times. Tomorrow, for one full day, count how many times you say something negative to yourself about your ability. Count silently. Do not judge what you hear. Do not try to change it yet. Just count. The number will surprise you. That number is the problem. Lesson 3. Comparison is not motivation. It is poison with a pretty label. Comparison feels like motivation. That is exactly why it is dangerous. You open your phone. You see someone your age posting a result. For 1 second, you feel fired up. Then, 3 minutes later, you feel small. That fire burned fast and left ash. That is not motivation, my friend. That is poison with a pretty label, and it is one of the most common ways a dirty mind stays dirty. I have seen this pattern in myself and in people around me. We use other people's highlights to measure our own beginnings, and we tell ourselves that is fair. It is not fair. It is not even the same comparison. That person's highlight reel is not the same thing as your Monday morning. You are comparing two completely different realities and calling the result a judgment of your worth. That judgment is false. But it lands like truth. Here is what this costs. Not just confidence. It costs you your original direction. Before you opened that app, you had your own idea, your own pace, your own path. After 3 minutes of comparison, that path looks small. It looks wrong. You start chasing a life that was never yours to chase. And the life that was yours, the one that fit the shape of who you actually are, gets left behind. This is what changed everything for me. Not blocking social media forever. Not pretending other people's success did not exist. It was this. I stopped using their result to measure my starting point. Those are not the same unit of measurement. A seed does not compare itself to a tree. It just grows in the direction of light. Daniel opens Instagram on a Thursday morning. A peer from secondary school is posted about a freelance win, a client, a payment, a victory. Within 3 minutes, Daniel has made a full decision. He is behind in life. He should have started earlier. He does not have what that person has. He does not know that this person also has 3 unfinished courses. He does not know about the 6 months of silence before that one client. He sees one result. He measures his entire beginning against it. He closes his phone and feels the familiar weight in his chest. I did this at 40. I know exactly what it costs at 19. Today, remove 3 accounts from your social media feed. Not forever, just for 1 week. Choose the accounts that consistently make you feel smaller after you view them, not the ones that inspire you, the ones that poison you while pretending to inspire. You know which ones they are. Stop. Before we continue, I need you to be honest with yourself right now. How many of those 3 signs have you seen in your own life this week alone? Not last year. This week. Because if the answer is more than one, you are not watching the wrong video. You are watching exactly the right one. Stay with that for 1 moment. Do not skip past it. Do not move to the next thing. This is the moment the mirror is in front of you. Most people look away. I am asking you not to. In the next part, we go deeper. The lessons ahead are less comfortable. They are also the ones that matter most. Stay with me. The mirror face is behind you now. You looked. That took courage, more than most people give themselves credit for. But looking is not enough. This next part is harder. We are not just seeing the problem now, we are walking into it. Phase 2 is fire, not the kind that destroys you, the kind that burns away what was never real to begin with. You do not pass through fire unchanged. That is the point. Stay with me. Lesson 4. Your past is speaking, but you keep giving it the microphone. Your past failure is information. It is not your identity. But most people I have known, and I include myself in this, have treated it like a life sentence. I believed this lie for years. After I lost everything at 45, the past did not stay in the past. It followed me into every new morning. Every time I tried to rebuild something, a feeling would rise up first. Not of thought, of feeling. Heavy, familiar, chest level. It was not saying words, but if it had been, the words would have been. You know how this ends. That feeling is old. It was formed in a specific moment, in a specific room, at a specific age, and your brain, which is trying to protect you, has been replaying it ever since. It replays it not to hurt you. It replays it to warn you. The problem is that it cannot tell the difference between then and now. It does not know you are older. It does not know the conditions have changed. It just knows, last time this happened, it hurt. So it fires the alarm. Nobody warned me that the alarm itself becomes the obstacle. I kept thinking the obstacle was out there. The market, the timing, the people around me. It was not. It was the alarm I had never once sat down to question. This is what fire does in this phase, my friend. It does not ask if you are comfortable. It burns the old story. And the old story has had the microphone long enough. What does this cost you in real life? It costs you every new beginning. Because every time you start something new, the past leans in and whispers the ending before you have written a single page. And sometimes, too often, you believe it. Daniel failed an exam in his second semester of secondary school. He has never said this out loud to anyone, not once, but every time he opens a blank document, every time he starts a new course, a feeling arrives before the first word. He does not name it. He does not trace it. He just feels it, that specific heaviness, and within minutes he has found a reason to stop. He thinks this is a discipline problem. It is not. It is a memory that never got questioned. One exam, one moment. And it has been sitting at the door of every new beginning since then. I know this moment. I lived it. Different room, different failure. Same alarm, same heaviness, same closed laptop. Write down one past failure you still carry. One sentence only. Then, below it, write one true thing you learned from it. One sentence. Read the second sentence 3 times out loud. The first sentence has already had enough of your attention. More than enough. Lesson 5. You are addicted to feeling ready. Readiness is not a destination. It is a feeling your brain manufactures to keep you still. I know this because I spent years chasing it. I told myself I was being responsible. I told myself I was preparing. I had spreadsheets. I had plans. I had notebooks full of strategies I never executed. And underneath all of it was one simple truth I did not want to face. Moving forward meant risking failure. Staying in preparation meant staying safe. The preparation was not the path to the work. The preparation had become a substitute for the work. This is one of the most dangerous places a person can live. Because it looks productive. From the outside, you look busy. You are taking notes. You are watching videos. You are building something. Except you are not. You are building a very convincing reason not to start. Stillness feels safer than risk. Your brain knows this, and your brain is very good at making stillness feel like progress. I just need to learn a little more. I am not quite ready yet. Let me finish this course first, then I will begin. I have said all of these sentences. I have believed all of them. They cost me years. Here is the hard truth. The version of you that waits until it is ready is the same version that will be waiting in 5 years. Readiness is not coming. It was never coming. It was always a feeling, not a fact. And that feeling was invented by the part of you that is afraid of being judged on your actual output. The fire in this phase does not ask if you are warm enough before it burns. It burns. That is what fire does. You start before you are ready, or you do not start at all. There is no third option. 6 days have passed since Daniel listened to the first 4 lessons. On day 3, he decided to try something small, not a full journal. Just 1 sentence each morning about what he is actually afraid of. Day 1, he wrote, "I am afraid of wasting another year." He read it back. He closed the notebook. Day 2, he wrote nothing. He told himself he would do it later. Day 3, he sat down again. And this time he wrote something he had never said to anyone. "I think I am afraid people will see I am not as smart as they think." He stared at that sentence for a long time. Then he almost tore the page out. He did not send it to anyone. He missed the next 2 days. He did not finish the week the way he planned, but he did not throw the notebook away. I know this moment. I lived it. The almost torn page. The missed days. The notebook still on the desk. That is not failure. That is the beginning of something real. Throwing it away would have been the failure. Something shifted in Daniel in those 6 days. Quietly, without drama. For the first time, he separated 2 things he had always fused together. Being afraid and being weak. He began to understand they are not the same word. Daniel has been preparing to start his personal project for 4 months. He has watched 11 videos about how to begin. He has a playlist called Motivation with 43 videos in it. He has not started the project. Last Tuesday, he spent 2 hours watching a video about productivity systems. He took notes. He felt productive. He closed his laptop and told himself today was a good preparation day. The project document is still blank. The preparation became the project. That is the addiction. And I am not judging it. I built the same hiding place for years. Pick one thing you have been preparing to do. One thing only. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Begin it imperfectly right now. Not tomorrow. Not after this video. The timer starts the moment this lesson ends. Imperfect and started is worth more than perfect and still waiting. I want you to hear this clearly. The version of you that is waiting until you are ready, that version will wait forever. Readiness is not a destination. It is a lie your fear invented to sound responsible. My friend, stop here. I need to say something directly. I am not telling you this from a comfortable place. I rebuilt from 0 in my 40s because I finally stopped waiting to feel ready. And even then, even knowing everything I know now, the feeling of not being ready came back. Every single morning. The difference was that I stopped believing it was a signal to wait. It is not a signal. It is just noise. Very familiar, very convincing noise. You can move while it is playing. Lesson 6. Trauma does not need to be big to block you. You do not need a dramatic story to carry real damage. This is one of the things nobody says clearly enough. People hear the word trauma and they immediately think something terrible happened. Something obvious. Something that would make sense to other people. And because their story does not feel big enough, they dismiss it. They say, I had a normal life. I have nothing to complain about. And then they wonder why they still feel stuck. Small, repeated experiences shape us just as powerfully as large ones. A teacher who rolled their eyes when you answered. A parent who compared you to a sibling every Sunday dinner. A classroom that laughed at the wrong moment. None of these are dramatic. None of these would make the news. But they happen at the age when you are forming your understanding of who you are. And they leave marks. I learned this the hard way. I spent years thinking my blocks had no origin. I thought I was just built a certain way. Cautious, hesitant, not a natural risk taker. I had given my fear a personality and called it my identity. That was easier than going back and asking where the caution actually came from. The fire burns here too, my friend. Not to give you an excuse, not to let you blame your past forever, but because you cannot put down something you have never admitted you are carrying. And a lot of people are carrying things they have never once named, because the things felt too small to mention. They are not too small. Small wounds, repeated, are still wounds, and wounds that are never named do not heal. They just get quiet. And quiet wounds run the show from backstage. When Daniel was 12 years old, a teacher said in front of the full class that he asked too many questions. The class did not laugh loudly. Just a small sound, a small moment. Daniel laughed too. He made it a joke. He went home and did not think about it consciously. But he stopped raising his hand. He is 19 now. He still does not raise his hand. In lectures, in group discussions, in conversations where he has something real to say, he stays quiet. He thinks it is his personality. He has told himself, I am just not an out-loud person. It is not his personality. It is a 12-year-old decision that never got revisited. Think of one small moment, not a dramatic one, where someone made you feel that your natural self was too much or not enough. You do not need to process it fully today. You do not need to talk to anyone about it. Just name it. Say it quietly to yourself, or write it down. That is the whole action. Naming it is the beginning of putting it down. You have walked through the fire. You did not turn back. Now the tone changes. Not softer, clearer. Phase 3 is not about pumping you up. It is not a motivational finish. It is a door. A door does not push you through. It simply opens. You have to choose to walk. This is what I found when I finally moved. Not confidence, not certainty, just clarity. And clarity, I have learned, is enough. Lesson 7. Cleaning your mind is a daily practice, not a one-time event. Mental clarity is not a destination. It is something you return to every morning, the same way you wash your face. This is what I found when I finally moved forward after losing everything. I wanted a permanent fix. I wanted to do the work once, clean everything out, and wake up different. That is not how this works, and when I realized it was not how it worked, I almost gave up again. Because the idea of doing it every single day felt exhausting. It felt like the problem would never end. But here's what changed for me. I stopped thinking of it as fixing a broken thing. I started thinking of it as maintaining a living thing. You do not wash your face once and call it done forever. You do not eat one good meal and consider nutrition handled. The mind is the same. It collects noise every day. Fear comes back. Old voices return. Comparison creeps in through your phone before you are fully awake. That is not failure. That is just the nature of a mind that is alive and paying attention. The daily practice is not long. It is not complicated. It is one honest moment before the world gets in. One question, one sentence. 2 minutes of quiet before your phone tells you what to think about. The practice is small. The effect over time is not small at all. This is what the door of this phase looks like, my friend. Not a dramatic exit. Not a single transformation moment. Just a small, consistent return to yourself each morning. Before the noise, before the comparison, before the weight of the day arrives. I did not learn this from a book. I learned it from the mornings after I lost everything, when a small moment of quiet was the only thing I had that was fully mine. Daniel has tried motivation before. 3 months ago, he watched a 2-hour video about discipline. He felt strong for 2 days. He woke up early. He made a plan. By day 4, The feeling had faded. He went back to his old patterns and decided the method had failed him. It did not fail him. He just did not know that the method requires repetition, not perfection. The video was one moment. The practice is every morning. Those are not the same thing. Daniel learned this difference in week 6, not from watching more videos, from writing one sentence in a notebook for 4 days in a row and then missing a day, and then doing it again anyway. Choose one small mental habit for tomorrow morning, one sentence and a notebook. 2 minutes of silence. One honest question before you open your phone. Do it before you do anything else. Before the phone. Before the noise. One morning. Then the next. That is the whole system. Lesson 8. God sees what you are carrying, even when no one else does the struggle. You are fighting inside. The one you have never fully said out loud is not invisible. I need to say this carefully, because I do not want it to sound like performance. I am not talking about religion as a list of rules. I am not talking about arriving at some finished, cleaned-up version of yourself before you are allowed to be seen. I am talking about something I found at the bottom of my own rebuilding, when I had no money, no plan, and no audience. I found that the weight I was carrying had been seen the entire time, not by a person, by the one who made me. Nobody warned me that this was available to me. I thought I had to fix myself first, get the numbers right, rebuild the reputation, clean up the visible mess, and then, maybe then, I would deserve to be seen. That is not how it works. That is another lie the dirty mind tells. You are not behind because God forgot you. You are not unseen because your life looks unfinished. The unfinished course on your laptop has been seen. The note on your phone you have not opened since January has been seen. The weight you feel at 7 in the morning before you are fully awake, that has been seen too. Every single morning. This is the last door in this phase, my friend, and it is the gentlest one. You do not have to be finished to be known. You do not have to arrive cleaned up to be held. The struggle you are carrying alone is not invisible. It never was. This is what I found at the bottom. Not an answer to every question, just a quiet, steady sense that I was not as alone as I had believed. That was enough to take the next step. Daniel has never told anyone he is overwhelmed. In group chats, he sends voice notes that sound fine. He uses humor. He keeps up, but at night he is alone with a specific feeling. The feeling of falling behind in a race he never agreed to enter. He does not know how to name it. He does not know who to tell. He does not even fully let himself feel it, because feeling it would mean admitting it is real. This lesson is for Daniel, and it is for you. That weight has been seen, the silent version of you, the one that nobody sees after the group chat ends. That version is not hidden from the one who made you. Write one thing you have been carrying alone. One sentence. You do not need to send it to anyone. You do not need to share it. Writing it is the act. You are not as unseen as you feel. You never were. These 8 lessons are not separate ideas. They are one system. Fear wears the mask of delay. Your own voice repeats the lie. Comparison poisons your direction. The past blocks the door to every new beginning. Readiness is the addiction that keeps you still. Small wounds run the show in silence. Clarity is a daily return, not a single arrival. And underneath all of it, the weight you carry alone has already been seen. That is the mirror. That is the fire. That is the door. You now have the map. The question is, will you use it? You have just learned 8 lessons, and I want you to use them, which is exactly why I need to tell you what happens next, because most people leave a video like this and make the same 3 mistakes. I made them too, more than once. These are not warnings from a book. They come from real failure. My real failure. Mistake 1. You try to fix everything at once. What? You finish this video feeling clear. You make a list. 7 habits. 4 changes. A new morning routine starting tomorrow. You go big because you finally feel ready. Why? This fails because the mind cannot hold 7 new instructions and 1 old fear at the same time. The fear is stronger. It has been there longer. When you overload the system defaults to what it knows, and what it knows is stopping. Fix. Choose one thing from today, 1 lesson, 1 action. Do that one thing every day for 1 week before you add anything else. Depth first, width later. 1 real change beats 7 abandoned ones every single time. Mistake 2. You wait for the feeling to come back. What? For 2 days after this video, you feel different, lighter, more honest with yourself. Then the feeling fades, as feelings always do, and you decide the lessons stopped working. Why? I made this mistake more than once. I confused the feeling of clarity with clarity itself. They are not the same thing. Clarity is a practice. The feeling is just the beginning of the practice. When the feeling leaves, the work is not over. The work has just become real. Fix when the feeling fades, and it will. That is not a sign to find a new video. That is the moment the practice starts. Return to your 1 action. Do it without the feeling. That is when it actually counts. Mistake 3. You use these lessons to judge other people instead of yourself. What? You watch someone you know, a friend, a family member, someone online, and you start diagnosing them. They are addicted to readiness. They are letting the past hold them. You apply everything outward. Why? I watched this cost me everything I had just started to rebuild. The moment I turned the mirror outward, I stopped looking in at myself. Diagnosing other people is the most comfortable form of avoidance I have ever found. It feels like progress. It is not. It is the old hiding place with a new name. Fix. Every time you catch yourself applying these lessons to someone else, stop. Turn it back. Ask 1 question. Where am I doing this right now? That question will never leave you empty-handed. 6 weeks after Daniel almost tore that page from his notebook, something happened. Not a miracle, not a transformation. Something smaller and more real than that. His university held a small business competition. Students were invited to submit a 2-page idea. Nothing built, nothing proven, just a written idea. Daniel almost did not enter. He opened the submission form 4 times over 2 days and closed it 3 of them. On the 4th time, he attached his document. He pressed submit. He did not delete it before the deadline. He did not win. He did not place. Nobody called his name, but he did not delete it. That is the result. 2 pages. Submitted. Still existing in the world. When I think about what Daniel would say now, the outline already said it. And it is the truest thing in this entire script. I used to think starting over was failure. Now I think submitting something imperfect is the bravest thing I have ever done. That is all I wanted to. For years, I just wanted to be moving. Not winning, not finished, just moving. Of everything we talked about today, this is the one I want you to remember. You are not lazy. You are afraid. Not because it is the most complex lesson, because it is the one that changes the meaning of everything else. When you understand that your delay is not a character flaw, but a fear response, everything shifts, not overnight, but it shifts. The way you talk to yourself shifts. The way you sit down to start something shifts. The judgment you carry about your own history starts to loosen. I did not learn this from a video. I learned it from sitting in a quiet apartment at 45 with nothing left, and finally asking the honest question, not what did I do wrong? I had asked that 1,000 times. The real question was, what was I afraid of the whole time? And when I finally sat still long enough to hear the answer, it was not the answer I expected. It was not one big fear. It was 100 small ones, accumulated, unnamed, running quietly in the background of every decision I had ever made. That was the dirt. Not stupidity, not laziness. Dirt. And dirt washes off. My friend, I want to say something to you directly now. The weight you have been carrying, the one that shows up at 3 in the morning, the one that sits in your chest before you open your eyes, that weight was never meant to be permanent. You picked it up somewhere along the way. You picked it up in classrooms, and in comparisons, and in small moments that nobody thought to explain. And then you carried it forward, because nobody told you that you were allowed to put it down. You were allowed to put it down. Not all at once. Not today necessarily, but the putting down starts the moment you name it. And you just spent the last hour naming it. I am not a person who talks about faith loudly. That is not my style. But I will say this, and I mean it from the bottom of my rebuilt life. The notebook Daniel almost tore. God saw it. The 3 in the morning voice. God heard it. The unfinished course on your laptop right now. The note on your phone you have not opened since January. The version of you that laughs in the group chat and says nothing about what is actually happening inside. All of it. Seen. All along. You do not have to arrive finished to be held. You do not have to clean yourself up before you are allowed to be known. The struggle you are carrying in silence is not hidden from the one who made you. It never was. So, keep the notebook. Miss some days. Start again. Submit the imperfect thing. Do not delete it before the deadline. That is enough. That is more than enough. You were never behind. You were just carrying things no one taught you how to put down. And now, for the first time, you know they can be put down. If today's lesson stayed with you, press subscribe. Not for me, for you, so the next lesson finds you. This video was not made for me. I already know these lessons. I learned them the hard way. This was made for you. If one sentence today reached something in you that needed to be reached, share it with one person who is also standing in a hard place, not to promote a channel, because they need to hear it too.